Okay.
Hi, I am Jamie, and this is Sonia, and today we are going to be talking about Defiance by C.J. Redwine. So this is one of those books that I picked up, and I really wasn't sure how I was going to like the book. I don't know about you. I liked the cover, and I thought it just looked interesting. So I picked it up, and I was pleasantly surprised. It had a good plot. It really kept going. It kept moving. The characters were really well thought out. And basically it's a dystopian society, and there's a commander, and he controls everyone and everything, and the women are not allowed to go anywhere by themselves. They have to have a partner, and a lot of times it's the dad or the husband, and it does get a little tricky with this story, but the women have to have someone, and I think that's really the main idea here, is that if you're not with a man and you get caught, you could potentially be murdered. And so with this, there's lots of reasons why, and they really talk about that. But there's this one girl in particular, and her name is Rachel, and her dad goes missing. And clearly that's going to cause some controversy because she doesn't have a mom, and so she's kind of left by herself. And so she's given a new protector, and it happens to be a friend of the family, someone that she obviously has a crush on. And so you get to see how that's weaved in throughout the plot. I particularly would probably give this book 3.5 stars. The plot was really good. It kept me, moving through the story. I was very interested in what was going on. But overall, I'm more excited for book 2 because I really think that some of the things that were mentioned in book 1 will be explained in book 2. And clearly, you disagree, so I'll let you take it.
What I like about the book, everything she mentioned, it has that whole society where women, I guess, are considered to be lesser than men. Mm-hmm. But I like the fact that the central character is different. She's a woman and she knows how to fight and take care of herself, and she's not gonna basically accept orders from any guy, and that's what makes the whole book interesting, and that's what makes her relationship with the guy who was assigned to be her protector, the guy that she used to have a crush on, a lot interesting, because she's not just gonna do whatever he wants her to do or follow orders, and that's kind of what starts the whole book. Yes, I liked it, didn't love it, would not give it 3.5 stars out of 4.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Out of 5. Okay, I would totally give it 3.5 out of 5. Didn't know that was the rating. Okay.
3.5?
3, I would say 3. I liked the book. I enjoyed it. There was some good fight scenes again. I really like the fact that we have a protagonist who is such a strong character, and she is female. I like that there's romance in the book, because, having a protector that she used to have a crush on, something's going to happen there. So we get to see that relationship develop. But I think that was the biggest draw to the book. So if there was ever a part where you didn't have those two characters, it wasn't as interesting. And I feel that that's kind of resolved at the end of book 1, so it didn't make me feel like I wanted to read book 2. She doesn't agree with me.
How is it resolved? It is so not resolved.
There's more that can happen. It's not like they get married and end up having kids, so there's nothing else that could happen. There's a lot more that can happen. But I don't see, between those two characters, I don't feel that there's a conflict anymore. So, yes, if the author gets very creative and does things, it can become an amazing book. So will I read it? Yes, probably because she's going to make me. But, if it were on my own, I don't think I would get the book. The reason I read the book was, again, because you told me to. But it was I'm glad I did. It definitely kept me entertained, and it's one of those books you want to keep on reading.
Yeah. There are things in here that you're not going to be able to predict, and I think that was very good. One of the things is when I typically read a novel, I'm very easy to say, oh, well, this is what's going to happen in the next chapter. This is how the ending will turn out.
I'm not good at that.
And so with that, it's really hard to keep me on my toes when I'm reading. And so that's one of the things that I felt like this book did a very good job of. And there's nothing in here that I wouldn't suggest anyone, who's not in middle school couldn't read. So this could definitely fit for middle school, high school, and even older. So I would say middle school is probably your target audience here. So we're going to stop there. If you've not read the book and this sounds like a great book for you, please go and read it. But from here on, we're going to go into some detail about the story and really talk about the characters in depth and some of the plots and things we're looking forward to. And so if you don't want to hear some spoilers, please just go ahead and stop the recording here and then start.
Book.
Yeah, start it again when you finish. Okay? So I want to start out with our main character, with Rachel. And as you did say, she is powerful. When you start out with her, you know, she's had weapons training and she is very familiar with how her body can be used as a weapon. And I'm not just talking about, I'm not,
that way.
Yes, I'm not just talking about with swords and.
Remember, this is the PG.
It is
PG-13 book, definitely.
Yeah, but you know, she is pretty strong, and when she ends up becoming under the protection of Logan, she really thinks Logan is just this inventor. She doesn't think that he has any street smarts or, and I think for a long time she's mad at him because he's not doing anything to help find her dad. And
it's not just that. From the beginning, you know that there's history between them. Because she, at one point, confessed her love to him, and he did not reciprocate. So she's, in my opinion, she's pissed.
She's pissed.
So, of course, she doesn't like this guy, and she doesn't want to see him as anything else, because she's still mad, because, of course, she still has feelings for him, so, and she's not going to let him know.
Right.
When you were describing the main character, she is pretty awesome, and the way I viewed it when I first read it was kind of like a Jedi Knight. Totally saw that. She knows how to fight. And yes, there's some things that she has to improve, but you know, she's still training. So, and she does train throughout the book. Logan starts teaching her, and they're kind of equals in that sense. And he treats her that way, and I think that's what she likes most about him.
Right. But also with that though, he treats her as an equal, but she doesn't treat him as an equal. She kind of thinks that he's just really techie, and he can create all of these inventions, and he can, you know, he's super smart. But I think she forgets sometimes that for a long time he was the outcast. He had to fight for his food and fight for what he has in life. And so he has to know how to fight. So I like the fact that he has this kind of rough backstory, and that even through all of that time of struggle, he ends up being this great guy that's the protector that, in my opinion, would be that ideal guy, because he's not only sensitive, but he's also very protective. And there's so many scenes where, you know, when the commander just touches her, you get that idea of, I'm going to kill him just because he laid a hand on you. And it's like you see that dark side of Logan come out.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah, and so it's like you get to see this different side of him. And so that to me is what drew me to Logan, was the fact that with Rachel, he was very sweet. Like, he didn't know how to even hug her. He's like, I know she needs to be hugged, but I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm just going to kind of be like, it's okay, buddy, you know? And then at the same time, he was so protective, especially right after Oliver's death, and she's shaken up, and he doesn't really know what happened to her. Was she raped? Was she...
Because that's all he knows how to do, is to be there for her in that way, protecting her. I think that's what I like about their relationship, though. You mentioned Logan's an outcast. Well, so is Rachel.
Now.
Because in a society where all the women are, you know, basically being sold. They're not really being sold, but basically they're the property of a guy.
Yeah.
She doesn't accept that. She knows how to fight. She knows other things. So they're both outcasts. Yeah. And I think that's why I like the relationship so much.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like you can really feel the growth of the relationship, because at the beginning, it's kind of like that. I can't even look at her right now because, you know, I have feelings for her, but I'm not supposed to have feelings for her, and I already turned her down once. And then it's like, okay, so I'm her protector. I can't marry her. But then on the flip side, I'm going to fight for her, and then I'm going to end up telling her I love her, and I'm going to patiently wait for her to tell me that she loves me too.
That's what you like about him.
That's what I love about him, because it's like, it takes Rachel a long time. You got to think of all the people that she's lost. And it's like, yes, Logan has lost people too, and you see how that loss brings them closer together. But he's so willing to put his heart out there, and she's kind of hesitant. She's like, you know,
because she already did.
Because she already put herself out there, and he turned her down. So it's like, you've got this weird dynamic going on between them, because it's like this, I already gave you my heart and you slammed it down, and so now I'm kind of, I don't have much of a heart left to give it out just for you to
she
slam
doesn't
the door.
Want to be hurt again.
Exactly. So that's really the relationship that I love about them.
What I like, and it's something small, but like you mentioned, they grow together,
Mm-hmm.
and it is really the first relationship, because this is a messed up society, so it is their first relationship ever. For her, this is the guy she's been in love with
Forever.
for the last 2 years at least, but she's not going to admit it. And then he, like you mentioned, doesn't know what to do with a woman in that way. Again, PG-13. But he's still learning about all these emotions and everything he's feeling.
Right.
So that's what I like most about them. They're learning together. It's their first love, or their true love, for both of them.
Right. Well, kind of as a sidebar, you don't really get to see the dad in this story, and I think she does a couple of like flashbacks where we get to see like a little bit of him, but that was the one downside. I felt like she was on this journey to find this guy, to find this tool, and we're like, we don't really have any connection with this guy, and so she's on this journey to find a dad that we've never even seen, and a tool that's important to the commander, and we have no idea why. And so it was hard for me to buy in to the fact that
this is her father.
This was an important mission, you know, and it would have been so easy for her to just follow the rules and to just, you know.
I think that would be a great twist for book 2, though.
For him to come back. I want to see more of the dad. I think that, to me,
because you're right, he isn't. You read the book, and even if you read the back of the book, he's made out to, you know, be an important character.
Right.
And he plays a huge role in the fact that Logan is in their life, because he's the one that brought them in.
Exactly.
And I think that's the only connection I have with him. He brought Logan in, and he was kind to him when everybody else wasn't.
Right.
But besides that, he went on a mission, and we're trying to find him, and that's it.
And we find that he's dead, you know, and it's heartbreaking. But then Rachel, she's so upset and torn up that she ends up committing an accidental murder, and you don't get it because you're like, it's okay, like, you know,
because you have no connection.
Exactly. So,
but there is.
I wanted to see more of that so that I would understand her pain, and I would be able to relate to the fact that
why is she so motivated to? Yes, it's her father, but we never felt that connection.
Right, and so now she's got this bloodlust, is what I would refer to it as.
But I would say
for
that
the commander.
That came more from Oliver. So Oliver being her surrogate father, the guy who took care of her, he is killed, and we do form a relationship with him. Like, you feel it. You understand how
more
close.
Sticky buns.
You understand how close they are.
Yeah.
And when he gets killed, you feel it, and that's what you want to feel with the dad too.
But see, I think I would have loved it more had
he stuck around a little bit longer.
Well, yes,
he dies.
He dies before the mission even starts. Like, he's gone.
But that's what makes her like. She doesn't like the commander.
Yes.
But the commander didn't kill her dad. At least that's the
what
way
we're led to
who
believe.
knows what happens in book 2.
Right.
But so she doesn't hate him. She despises him. Those are like the same thing.
Yes.
But it's not the bloodlust that you explained.
Right.
Versus when he kills Oliver, she basically snaps. Like, she changes.
I understood that, though. Like, I saw the breakdown of her character.
And you feel it.
And I felt it. I was like, I would react the same way. I wouldn't want to get in a carriage. I wouldn't be able to move. I wouldn't be able to express my feelings. Like, you're gone. Like, you don't know how to react.
Somebody that's taking care of you.
Right. And so I understood that. It hurt. And, the fact that he constantly said, I want to see you get married, and I want to see your kids, and I want to, be that grandfather to them. And I mean, literally, it was like the chapter before, she said, well, you'll still get to see that. And then it's like, a knife in the heart, because it's like you had just read it. And so it was so fresh for you that you felt her pain. So when Jared dies and you're like,
who is this guy?
I thought we already knew he was dead, because that's what we're led to believe in the beginning, and that Rachel was just, saying, no, he's not. No, he's not. I know he's not dead.
Logan said the same thing.
And Logan even said the same thing. He's got to be alive. He's out there. We can find him. But according to everyone else in society, he's gone. He didn't come back. He didn't return. So we were led to believe that he died. So the fact that you didn't even go in with the even tiniest thought that he could actually be dead.
Very true.
It's kind of like...
And that's supposed to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that at all.
Like,
he's dead. Well, duh. Okay, let's move on.
Right.
Because that's how the story starts. He's disappeared. Everybody thinks he's dead, except his daughter and
Logan
his
and
apprentice.
Yeah.
Apprentice. Jedi right there. That's anyway. But you don't feel that at all. Towards the end, he's dead. I didn't even notice that. I just kept reading. Well, he's dead. Okay, what happens next?
Right. And so that's kind of the reason why I couldn't fully buy into this whole idea. Was the whole mission was wrapped around...
It's something you already knew. You kind of
character.
already knew the end. You knew that he was... I mean, there's still more surprises when you find the package that he was carrying and is supposedly killed for. But...
And for me, I felt like...
That was more important.
The package was important, but as well as the two characters that went along with the package. The tree people that come in later, and you end up kind of meeting them and their whole story, and you're like, okay, so we find out that he ends up killing someone, and that he can relate to Rachel on that fact. And they have a connection. I don't know if y'all saw it, but when I was reading
Quinn,
when I was reading about him and Rachel, and their brief conversation one night when they were just kind of up and watching their surroundings, they had a connection that I don't think her and Logan had. The fact that he can relate to murdering someone, we don't get the backstory with that, but he has to live with it, and that sisterly bond. The fact that she comes with Quinn and is like, where you go, I go. So she's now an outcast. And so you've got this idea of all of these outcasts kind of banding together in hopes of overthrowing the commander.
X-Men.
So,
I love this book. Anyway, I agree with you. I understand the need to introduce these characters, Quinn and his sister.
I don't remember her name.
Neither do I. That's why I said his sister. But that's the thing, the fact that I don't even remember her name. But I remember her personality a little bit, and she's feisty.
She was the comedic relief kind of in between.
Was she? I thought she was. I didn't like her because she was a little bit rude. She pushed it a little bit too much. Yes, you do need comedy, and where she clearly points out the obvious. Okay, there's something going on between you two. Do you need to leave?
Do you need a minute?
I like that. But then I think she went too far because then she kept pushing and pushing. Well, clearly.
But see, again, that's why the relationship between her and Quinn are so important, because it only took Quinn a look. And Rachel makes a comment that she had never seen that look on Quinn before, but he got this look about him and she stopped. So it's like there's something between them that we are not aware of yet. And I feel like the author did this so that we are intrigued. It's like, okay, I don't know what's going on.
Very true. I think there's more
to it. Yeah. And she introduced them now so that we're asking all of these great questions for book 2. And
very true.
I can really see how Quinn and Rachel will end up, in my opinion, this is just me, speculation only, but I can really see how they might form a bond and end up love triangle. Just because, and I only say this because at the end of this book, Logan takes on the persona of the leader of all of the people in Babylon, or what is it called? Is it Babylon?
We'll go with
that.
It sounds good.
So he becomes the leader of this city that has now been torn down by the beast. And so he kind of takes on that responsibility. Okay, we need to find shelter. We need to find water. He's
trying to protect everybody.
Right. And so he's like, okay, we need to have a plan. We need to
his mind
get from this place to this place. And so he's not focusing on Rachel anymore, even though he's still technically her protector. And so because he's got so much other stuff going on, who's going to be the person who's going to save her? Who's going to be that person whose responsibility it is to get her to that, you know, make sure she's not going to die. I mean, let's be honest. She rushes into situations before really thinking them through. So there has to be someone to back her up.
And I think I'm a little bit more interested in that. I think that's sad, though, that I'm interested a little bit more in Quinn. And his sister, who I feel really bad that I don't remember her name because she's important.
She is important. I can probably find it.
So I feel really bad that I'm interested more in how they're going to be developed and not the main characters, because I don't see, again, where these main characters can go. They're finally together. They've both told each other, yes, I love you, I want to be with you, all that good stuff. So Willow is her name. I'm more interested in Quinn and Willow than Rachel and Logan, because I feel their story, yes, there can be conflict, especially if you bring in Quinn. But I feel that there's more to learn about these two characters, because you really don't, you get a feel for their relationship as brother and sister, and then a little bit more about Quinn because you learn things about him. But besides that, that's really it. That's all you know about them.
Well, we are led to believe, I don't know, you caught it, that Logan is actually the son of the commander. And we're kind of led to believe that. I think there was only one sentence in there in the whole book that if you caught it, you were like, what? But if you caught it, then you're kind of led to believe, because, you know, the commander knows exactly how old Logan is. And no one's supposed to know how old he is, because we aren't supposed to know who the dad is.
He got frisky with Logan.
But
we don't know that, though.
Total speculation. We don't know.
But there's a line that says that, what is it? The commander is referring to Logan's birthday or his age.
Him being 19 years old.
But nobody is supposed to know that.
He doesn't even know that.
So, and Rachel does catch it. She even says, did he really just say that?
Are you sure?
But then, of course, she brushes it off because there's
so much stuff
coming,
on.
and there's a lot of stuff coming. Commander, Beast, everything's being thrown at them. So she kind of, and she says that in the book, I have other things to think about right now.
Right.
So that definitely, I don't see why that wouldn't come up in book 2. It would be stupid. Like I'm telling you now, if it's not in book 2, that's just stupid.
We're telling you, Red Wine, right now. If we don't figure that out,
it's stupid. Just so you know.
But yeah, so I think overall, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to read
the second
book 2.
I won't pay for it, but I'll read it. That sounds really bad. There's stuff that can happen, and I'm looking forward to that. I liked book 1. I'll give book 2 a shot.
And that's all we're asking you to do. So if you have any questions or comments, just put them below.
It's good.
It's a good book. It'll make you think. And
there's romance. There's fighting.
There's action. There's a dystopian society.
Strong female character that can kick some butt. Like it's worth your time.
It is. So, all right. It's called Defiance. C.J. Redwine. Go read it.
Oh, that's you.